Season 9, live for the evening of Sunday, the 12th of November, 2023. D D D D D D D D.
One evening as the sun went down and our cooking coals were glowing, down the path came a party hiking, and they said, folks, we're all going. We're yearning for a portal far away in a tavern full of shouting. So join us, friends, and let's descend deep into Under Mountain, deep into Under Mountain. There run dungeons hot and cold, where the monsters surge and pushes, and the youngest runes are old, where the mimics all lie waiting, and the goblin werebats roost. All the wisps and wasps and the mezzo-loss, the hidden pit where we'll all plummet deep into Under Mountain. Deep into Under Mountain, all our blades will sing like choirs, as our arrows strike like drum beats, and our green flame pops and pyres. Our barbarian will stomp a brood as the rogues dance shadow play. Oh, we're sworn to go at a great tempo. We'll chant our spells as we now delve deep into Under Mountain. Deep into Under Mountain, you'll always find new gear, and your old mundane accoutrement can be handed down, don't fear. The magic items you'll attune and the artifacts you'll find. There's armor with gems and weird potions and a propeller hat that lets you ascend deep into Under Mountain. Deep into Under Mountain, the mad wizard stood gates so folks can open portals. He left clues to activate. He has a thing for puzzles and he likes to throw his voice. We're going to delve to where he dwells, to the lowest tower, to seek his power deep into Under Mountain. I'll see you there, the lowest lair, deep into Under Mountain.
I want a girl who can sort a chest. I want a girl with shears that cut and swords that burn through zombie flesh. I want a girl who knows world generation, who crafts furrows and times her attack. She's modding her community. She's flying through the air. She's smelting out impurities and feeding her cat. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. I want a girl who logs in early. I want a girl who plays till late. I want a girl with unobstructed creativity, who uses a tripwire to ruin your day. With shulker boxes organized and lustrous, in a tone that will torch you like desert grass. Who crafts furrows and times her attack. She's smelting out impurities and feeding her cat. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. shields is emblazoned. I want a girl with good enchantments. On some server we will meet incidentally. We'll start to talk as we shoot skeletons. She wants a spawn with biome convenience. She wants a spawn that's in good repair. She's changing her in from wither to dragon. She's trading her archery for a trident that's self-repairing. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. Summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Down and dream. Lay your head down and lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and just let your mind flow downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us! Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And tonight, y'all are my live streaming audience. I hope you are having a fantastic evening out there, wherever you are watching from. We're here to play some Minecraft. We're doing a little bit of building here on the HermitCraft server. It's just myself, Jev, and Tango Cam online right now. This project, we are at one of the most complicated junctures of this project. This thing is wildly complicated, and I'm realizing maybe I was a little bit too optimistic about certain choices I was making while I was laying it out. So there's that. We're working on making sure that this comes out in a functional way at the end of the day. How much could I move that further down if I had to here? If I just had to move this further down. Ooh. Not a lot of space. We start hitting those drop targets there real quick, like zip, but yeah. Because the corner of this mount is going to hit the corner of that mount, I think. Can you purchase that song on YouTube Music? Yeah, if you go through that hyperfollow link, there should be a YouTube Music list right there. Yeah, YouTube Music is right here. And that has Lectern Full Cauldron is song 2. So I'll post the YouTube Music link. Somebody was like, well, how do I buy that music there? I like that music. Yep. Evening Technologic, evening Captain Dan, Nez, Typical Human, Nymph, Ice Pick, Introverted Kids, and Fragment, Casey Scored, Boreas, Laura, NB, Andy, Rickety Cricket. Glad you could be here today. Mike's Gen 2, Clam Meditation, ahoy, ahoy. We have... we have to get these in. And as I'm putting in the first one, I'm realizing I might have mounted these too close together. Which is probably okay to fix. We probably want to fix that. we're probably gonna end up pulling out these lights and these targets here in order to make it work. That's okay. That's probably for the best, but okay, this is one of those things where we're learning as we go that the amount of space these things take up underneath the table is significant. So, this is the first one we're dropping in here. And, in theory, I should go get some screws to fill in some of these where they connect to the table. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I'm trying to think this all the way through, which is not one of my strong points, I'm going to say. Thinking projects all the way through. But we're gonna make some quick progress on this if we can. I feel like what we want is we want some andesite and some andesite slabs. So there's some andesite. And we can make some andesite slabs here as well. If we put andesite in the stone cutter, what options does it give us? Anything good here? Ugh, nothing particularly good. If we put andesite slabs in the stone cutter, kind of the same problem. Okay. Actually, hold on. If we put some of these into here. Oh, okay. Here's the option. We can make some slabs that are polished and some slabs that are not. And then the screws can be a combination of the twos. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be all right. Okay. So, here is what I'm thinking. The way these work here. Oh boy, this gets weird. Screws on this are gonna go kind of like that. And then maybe we put that in the center. I don't love the way that ends up weirdly flush there, but I don't know how to fix it. And in the interest of time, which we are increasingly realize I am not managing well here, we are going to have to start fixing it. So, we're just going to go ahead and pop this through there. And then put the screw, like the turn part here. Okay. I think this is actually going to look right. Maybe. Actually, maybe we recess that one. Yeah, that's going to make the screw head look way better if we recess that one. Okay. Cool. Now, we're also going to go lay our heads down and dream in-game. Tickled Panda says maybe place the andesite slab only on the orthogonal, not the diagonal. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that would... Because that would convey it's circular, but I'm not sure if it's as clean looking. Not that all this scaffolding is clean looking either. This is definitely a Joe Hills build here. Making sure our elytra is not about to die. Good. Okay. So, screw hole is lined up with that there. We come down this way. The screw hole needs to be aligned with this. We're going to punch a hole there and have the screw poking through. Get that totem off our thing here. Boom. Okay, we're getting this done. We're getting this done. Okay. We've got one more screw hole over on this side for this mount. Oh, there's gonna be more scaffolding, Casey. Don't. You're worried about the wrong things. We're gonna have it. There's gonna be more scaffolding. We're not done. Don't worry. Don't worry about that at all. Okay, so that's gonna be aligned properly there. Welcome, Flavia. Welcome, Gusty Gale. We're not done adding scaffolding. We have almost enough scaffolding for this one part we're working on right now. But not really. Not even that. Okay. So. From here, we go... So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is the 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scaffolding to the max. Yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we actually need to come in 6 on either side. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then boom, 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 boom. That puts us at... Uh-oh, that's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there should be 4 in the center. There's... How do we do this so incorrectly? Should be 5 in the middle here, not 6 in the middle. Did we go out too far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6. Now there's 5 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need to go out 7 here. Which we cannot do until we place more scaffold for Casey. Scaffold for Casey. All the scaffolding we could need. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to bring that 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. How is this 19 big? This should be 17 big. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, we got our first tip of the night coming in from Alberic for 10, who says, "Howdy, so glad to be able to catch a stream again." Thank you, Alberic, for the 10. We're going to go ahead and post that tipping link here. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. I'm concerned. I might have screwed this up somehow. Let me check on some math real quick. So this is... So these were supposed to come in... We'd have that whole 2 down, 1 over. And then right around here, we would have this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And that would get cut off here. And then that would also come over. One, two. Okay, we've got some shrubs. I might have cut these holes way too large somewhere in the process here, and because that's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the middle there. Well, that's 4 over there. Okay. Well. Wait, no, this wouldn't be on the same side as that, though. Yeah. This would be on the back here. Okay. So wait, on the front. We'd have that going out like 7-ish. So if I've accidentally made this whole thing 19 on this side, we need to do some actual just straight subtraction. Okay, this is 68, and this one is 86. 86 minus 68 is 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Now it's gonna come out 5 till it hits that. Okay, so this is somewhat more manageable. Somewhat more manageable. Okay. Now, then that's going to go down here by 1, 2, 3, 4. In the middle by... and back 4. Okay, so that's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Okay, that's gonna go down like that-ish. It gets kind of weird right here, but what can you do? We don't know, because it's on the incline there. Okay. Welcome, Michael Beska Summers. Working on the pop bumper assembly. I've got one in the studio with me, which you would think would make this easier, but it's actually just, like, I was like, there's no way I could build one of these just from reference. And as I'm working on it, I'm like, even with the reference, this is really hard, you guys. Okay. It's fine. Okay. So, what does the pop bumper do? Well, I can hold it up here, but it's kind of small on the camera. It's got a skirt on the bottom where when a ball rolls over the skirt, it pushes down a metal contact that triggers a coil that causes the top of the pop bumper to pull down and then drive the ball away. So, like, pop bumpers are pretty iconic in pinball. You've probably seen them, even if you don't know what they're called. Some places, so historically, they've also been called jet bumpers or jets, or pop bumpers or pops. They're one of the most complicated single assemblies. A lot of pinball machines are combinations of simple things until they become way more complex than they should be. Even in Twitch chat and NJ, glad to see you. Okay. So, looking at this here, how high does the pop bumper assembly circle go above there? It's gonna go above the playfield by 3. So 1, 2, 3. Wait, no. It doesn't go above the playfield by 3. That's how... I'm dumb. This is not... Okay. No, the 3 is the 3 that it goes inside, where the inset is. I'm completely misreading this. Okay, there are pieces of the assembly that do project upward in the center here. So we need to get that sorted. But that's a separate problem. Okay. So let's go back down underneath. Okay. Underneath is where things will make more sense. Okay. NJ says, how was your weekend? It was good. I got to take my daughter out some. She had some fun. School was closed on Friday, so I tried to keep her busy as much as possible. Got to catch up with a friend today from high school. Okay, so let's figure this out. So this is gonna need to go from that hole over 1, 2. Yeah. So this is gonna come down 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't suffocate Javin in a wall. That's not nice. Okay. Okay. So that's gonna come back 1, 2, 3. Wait, hold on. 1, 2. So that's 2, 3, 4. Wait. No, wrong direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3. And then on the fourth one is where it's gonna cut over. And then come another 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're going to take a quick gap here, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. Come over 1. this is going to come down 4. And then this is going to come over, I think, if I'm reading this right, until we hit that one. Okay, great. So then it's going to project forward here by 3 blocks, and that's going to come down like so. I don't think I projected it forward up this side. So it's diagonally going to come across from there. Two, 3, 4. Okay, wait. Did I do that right on this side? Is this 4? Yeah, it is 4. This one's then all the way down. Two, 3, and then all the way down to 4. Oh, actually, all the way down to the floor here. Okay. Hey, we got a tip rolling in. Let's see who it's from. Derek, thank you for the 10, who says you made a lot of progress since the last time I was able to catch your stream. Keep up the great work, and hopefully grow hills. Thank you indeed, Derek. Please direct your attention down here to slot 9, where I'm putting the hot in the hot bar so I can say, howdy, y'all. Grow Hills here, expanding as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee, dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee-dee. And we are now evenly 20 away from our next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. I gotta say, one thing I am most excited about this weekend was seeing the TCG email that went out from Creo. That confirms a lot of stuff that I've been hearing behind the scenes, but that I couldn't necessarily point at anything. It's like, well, this is what they told us, but, you know, y'all don't have access to that. So it'd be nice to hear it from them, and now you can. Yay. Okay, so let me work backwards here. So that one goes down 4. And then this next one here is going to go down further. D. So this is 4 here. But if we come down the scaffold, folding, working on this thing, I think it's cool. Okay, so right now it's even with the other one, but it needs to go down. How many past it? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Bum ba dun dun. Dun. Okay, so we're up to 7 here. I really could use a ruler. 1 second. Okay. So that is 25 blocks total. Wait, so that's 9, so it's 18, 19. So 19 past these. Wait, is that only 6? Oh, whoops, that was only supposed to be 6. So we'll remove that one. Whoops. Gonna remove that one there. Whoop. Like I said, more scaffolding is definitely in order. There's a reason we have these 2 tiers of scaffolding here. It's because I knew I was gonna have to come down underneath this bit. Okay, let's just fix this part real quick. Okay, hold on. So this is supposed to be down 3. 1. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3. And then that's down another 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, we got another tip rolling in. Danny W. tipping 2. Thank you so much. Danny W. who says adding $2 to the grow. Hi, Jevin Raiders. Welcome. We're in the middle of accepting some tips real quick. I'd like not my name, but what I say. So Anonymous writes, Joe, we see what you do in HermitCraft. You are the first for every minigame, first for a project, first to keep moving forward, and we see it. Much love. Thank you very much, Anonymous, for that 25. 18 gets us a face camera expansion. $7 past that on the abacus. So here we go. Expand Joe. Do. So let's go say howdy to the Jevin Raiders. Real quick, Jevin Raiders rolling in. We are working on my mega base, a colossal pinball machine. Welcome, Grumpy Bunny. Welcome, McLeslie13. Welcome, Truth's Mythical Moon. Glad to see so many familiar names. Matt Kimball, Radioactive Ferrets. Glad to see y'all. So we are currently underneath my pinball machine. I should have done the scaffolding before digging a giant hole down to bedrock, but I didn't. So, you know, that's kind of par for the course with a Joe Hills build. We are working on the part of the layout that will house the pop bumpers. And so I am building the pop bumper assemblies. Do I have enough rocket ability to land directly on this? Probably not. Hold on. We can do it. Yeah! Yeah, look at that rocket ability. So, basically, the pop bumpers will fit into these 4 holes here. And a pop bumper assembly looks a little bit like this. I'm holding one right here. You can see it's got a bunch of plastic underneath the playfield, whereas the top of the pop bumper up here, where like the ball hits this skirt and depresses a contact, and then this part comes down on the coil and then flings the ball away. So we got to build the plastic assembly mount first, and then we're going to build the components that mount to it, which include the coil, the switch that detects the electrical impulse when the skirt gets depressed by the ball. You know, I actually don't know the name of the deflector part. But basically, we've got a whole pop bumper we have to build 4 times. Is the pinball machine going to be functional, says Hermit Watch. It'll be fun, but yeah, it won't. There's no way to make anything at this scale that would be like functional with redstone. So, yeah, we're basically at this scale. A pinball would be 6 blocks wide. This is a scale pinball inside this machine. Is the setting up stream now sign supposed to still be up? Yeah, we were actually just finishing up setting up the stream when you came in, so thank you for reminding me. Appreciate that. So yeah, this is the plastic mount that all the other components for the switch are going to attach to here. So this is going to come down 3 and then 3 again, and then it's going to drop another, let's see, total. It's going to drop another 19 blocks after, so it will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 19 further. So let's go ahead and get 19 basalt out, and then come down here onto that scaffold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm not using the right stack anyway. Dang it. It's fine. I was keeping track by counting out loud anyway. So that was 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Going down further. 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. So, at this point now, we're going to come across here by basically until we hit the other one coming down. If you fill the pop bumpers with boats, players will get bumped by them with an old school elytra launcher. I thought about maybe putting slime pistons and, what do you call it? Slime pistons and tripwires, but I don't know if that'll work at elytra speeds. Okay, so Anyway, this is the part where these ridges are going to... Yeah, where do these ridges hit the same point? Okay, so these ridges both line up here. Okay. Did I do this wrong? Ooh. I might have done this wrong. I hope I didn't do this wrong, because that would be annoying. And I prefer not to... Oh, I did this wrong. This needs to be 2 over here. In order for that to... Yep. Okay. That's doable. We can fix that. That's... We basically just come down to here, come straight up, and then start breaking these ones on the way back down. Dang it. Hold on. I thought I had that height better. Thank you, Draco Van Rain, for the, what do you call it? For the raid. Appreciate it. Dang it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to bring this all the way up to there. This is going to come over 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to wipe this part out right here. That was incorrect. Okay. So, Draco Van Raid says, impressive build, Joe. Thank you. Yep. For those of you just coming in from the raid, we are working on my colossal scale pinball machine. Welcome, Tracy N. We are building the pop bumper assemblies right now. We're starting with this first pop bumper assembly right here. Pop bumper assemblies are one of the most complex, like, individual components of a pinball machine, even though every component of a pinball machine is made up of a bunch of other components. Parts of this are being kind of chromed out. But yeah, a pop bumper has way more stuff below the surface of the table than you would expect if you don't know a lot about pinball. But, yeah, so we've got that going for us. So let's keep working on getting this done here. Okay, so that's going to go 3 down, 6 down, then 25 down. And then the next wall over is going to continue there. This is going to have a bit that extends outward as well. McGeel, thank you for the 10, who says, been a while since I could pop in. Always great to catch a Joe stream. Thank you so much, McKeel. We're going to go ahead and get that 10 on the abacus. Boom, 3 and 7. That puts us now 3 away from the next Face Gamer expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. So yeah, we are working on the pop bumper assembly plastic mounts right now. Once we get the plastic mount built, then we'll actually start mounting all of the things that go into a pop bumper assembly onto it. So, okay. So we've moved this one over far enough that we can get this in place properly. This means that this part, though, also needs to come over 1 and go all the way down to there. So, okay, how do we want to do that? How do we want to handle that? Okay. So I think we're going to need to go down the scaffolding a bit here. Got a lot of totems and a lot of pork chops for this project. Okay, so 1 more drop it looks like here. Okay. So that is going to go out the back that way. And so then it's going to go toward the front of the assembly here. And then over 2. And then forward 1. So we should be able to go straight up here. And then we'll come back across. Oops, missed a block. I'm really happy with how this looks like the plastic that you would use for this. It's not too single color, but it's not too cobbled looking either. Okay, we're gonna pop out some of these as we go here. Okay, so then that's gonna go all the way up to here, which will then actually go out like so. Great. Yeah, this is coming together. So, okay. Welcome, Quill. You haven't missed much. Everything I'm working on right now, we started doing the math on earlier. It was a lot of me just looking at it. The reason the setting up stream time was up for so long was because the math was... I was like, what? These numbers aren't working out the way I think they should, and it's really stressing me out. So yeah, we are fixing a lot of things. We're making progress again, which is where I want to be. So this is going to come down here like so, because the actual solid line is going to be down like that. It's going to be down like this. Yeah, building on a slant, because a pinball machine has a slant to it. You'll see all of these things are built on a slant too. So that throws off a lot of the math and stuff. There's a lot going into making this machine feel right. If we did it completely flat, though, it would not work. It would not feel right. So, you know, it's one of those things. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I have filled in my coin door. So we need to fly through the coin slots now. Yeah, whoops. Missed the bed. I can do it. I believe in me. Yay. Ice pick. There is a rule against asking to ask questions. I know your thing is a preamble more than asking to ask a question, but you're on thin ice here. Okay. If you have something you want to ask, just ask it. Okay. So, when is the time you put up a Christmas tree? My personal favorite time to put up a Christmas tree is the day after Thanksgiving. Because I'm off from work, my kid's off from school, and it's, you know, convenient. However, since the divorce, my daughter actually goes to her mom's for Thanksgiving now, and so I usually pick like the first weekend after Thanksgiving, so that way my daughter can be there. Sometimes some years I'll, because like I like my daughter to come help pick out the tree, and so I might the day after Thanksgiving go and pull all of the Christmas stuff out of storage and start getting things in order, but the actual tree gathering of stuff we now are doing a few days later than we had been. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. Whoops. Because I was gonna say I want to start getting this bit in place. Which is, so we're gonna come down to, okay. So this part here is going to stay at that level until we hit there, at which point it's gonna drop by 1. Which is an interesting challenge for us to do. Oh, actually, that shouldn't be too bad, though. Because what we'll do is we'll just have it go... Yeah, so then this one, it'll drop by 1 here. Yeah. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. Okay. Yeah, so we have it go 1, 2, 3. And then drop there by 1. Now, here's where it gets complicated. We need to mark where it's going to come down on that side. So this is, hold on. That's where that goes. So then this is going to come out here by 2 and down 3. Wait, nope, that was too far. Wait, or was it? No, it wasn't. Okay, yeah. So it's down 3, then another 3, and then this is where it punches all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to mark that spot there. Okay. Okay, this is the center of the block, so this is the next one. Okay. Now, it's going to go forward 1 right here, and it's also going to go backward 1. Wait. Oh, I did this wrong. Okay. Yeah. It's going to go similar to how I have it here, but... Okay. So... Hold on. So 1, 2, 3... forward, and then it's going to go... Okay, so this is where... So then it's going to go over 2. And then up 1, maybe? And then back 1. Here, if I'm doing this right. Okay. Does that line up with that? It does. Great. Perfect. Okay, yeah, we figured it out. Okay, there's also a bunch of mounting holes in the back of this that we're going to need to sort as well. Dang it. Well, that's fun. Okay. But core concept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks in the middle there, and we're gonna have 2 screw holes there, and then another 2 up there and there. Okay. Okay, so let's see. These screw holes here are pretty low to the bottom. Oops. Oh no. Did I break something there? I don't think I did. Okay. You gotta be careful with this stuff. It's expensive and fragile. Okay, so screw holes on the back here. Chloe, the great and powerful Tip in 14 says, thanks for thanks for fixing the Vault Hunter server over and over again. I've been having so much fun. I'm so glad, Chloe. That's gonna get us 11 past our next Face Gamer expansion milestone. So here we go. It's time to expand. Yeah, I'm definitely learning a lot about hosting a modded server. The last Feed the Beast server I hosted was like right around when my kid was born, and I remember it was kind of a pain. And here we are again. But I mean, I'm having so much fun on the Vault Hunter server. It doesn't seem fair if I'm the only one who gets to enjoy it. So, okay, let's count this out. Do we have torches here we can mark? So this is 2 from that side, 2 from that side, 3. Okay. Whoa, we're gonna have to fly back down. And back up here. Where did we lose it? There it is. Okay, so there's gonna be a screw hole here and here, I think. Let's put in... So these parts are definitely here. And then we've got these 7... Now there's going to be some metal on that side there where the mounting plate goes. In some ways, it's going to be easier to get the scaffolding in around that stuff now. So we want to do that now. Okay. So, oh, yeah, we might need to pop these up some. Okay, so so 1, 2. So if we have a screw hole here and here, that is going to make some sense. Although it might actually be closer to here and here because this is on a weird angle. Yeah. Bum, 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 da, da, da. Okay, so screw hole here and here. Should probably put some more lights on these other lower level scaffolds. Yeah, we got these lower level scaffolds all over the place without any lighting. Didn't plan that well. Okay. So we're going to put an andesite screw in each of these holes for right now. And then we are going to continue upward. How far upward, though? When do we hit the next set of screws? We hit the next set of screws approximately here, which is how high up? So we go up 14 blocks and then we have the next set of screws. So we're 3 blocks up already, so we go up another 11. So let's simplify this by grabbing these out of here. Oh, actually, we should also, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we're going to put a screw here. And then we're going to have another one come up 1 here. We're going to come grab more of these, because we're going to need a lot of that. Okay. And... yeah. Now we're going to come in and start getting aggressive with the rest of this. Dun 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 dun. T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna continue up this way. Gonna knock these out. We'll come down here and clean this up a little bit. Not having Swift Sneak here is really slowing me down. That's okay. We'll have to get some more of that at some point. Okay. Then we just hop on the scaffold. And up we go. Okay. Try pressing Z, Rafzalo. Sometimes in Vault Hunters, your inventory will pull up like that. Oh, there's also another thing where you can do this, like, hovery inventory. I forget what that's called. Go to your keybinds and search for inventory. There's a bunch of dumb inventory keybinds that I can't imagine anybody wanting. But they're in there. Okay, so you see how deep that protrudes below the playfield? Yeah, it's pretty intense, this thing. Okay. It was Z. Awesome. The problem with Vault Hunters is when you were describing that problem, I was like, oh, there's actually several things that could be, and I don't know which one it is. So I'm glad I got it right and was able to help, but yeah. Okay. So working from the front here, there's a lot of places where there's no active... Okay, I think I need to work from the top to get the floor of this assembly in now. And we're going to work from the front because we don't have as many confusing lines coming in off the sides there like we do over there. Welcome, Boar Player versus Player. Glad you could join us. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, in the very center of this, there is a big old hole we're going to need to put in. So we're going to need to navigate around that. also going to have to figure out where these other holes and posts are going to go. Okay, so that one goes... There's wire holes there and there. Okay. Oh, and we're somehow out of this stuff already. Dang it, did I overshoot? There it is. Okay. This thing's just so big. It's like wild how big these things are. Also, this actually should have like a little hole protruding there. Hey, welcome, Mr. Hardluck. Glad you could join us. We are working on our pop bumper assemblies. One of the most complicated parts of the machine. My brain is like, okay, it's fine. We're doing fine. Okay. So, this is where this part gets weird here. This part, I think, should be actually one higher, and then we remove those 2 blocks. Yeah, because of the way this slant is. Okay. So, at the corner of where that is where this hole will be. Oh, actually, wait. Oh, okay. This is fine. I've got this figured out now. I say convincingly. Okay, so aligned with that, except... Okay, so this is where we are going to come back down underneath here. Okay, so there's a hole right here, if I've got this right, and then there's a hole right here as well, but you can't see it until we fill in more. So let's fill in some more, and then make the hole. Okay, so here. Is that right? When we come up top. How does that look? Okay, so that looks actually... Is that centered? No, it's not. Okay. But is it supposed to be centered? Yes, it is. Okay. So we're going to have to adjust that back 1 then. That's okay. That's not a problem. This is just kind of stuff having to do with the rounding. Stuff doesn't always work the way you would like it to. Okay. So we've got... Cool. Oh, actually, you know what? That's not going to be centered no matter what we do, is it? Because it's a 4 by... Yeah. Okay, that's okay. That's not a problem, actually. Okay, so what we actually want to do with these is make them like this. Yeah, that shouldn't really touch there, so that would actually be more like this. Yep, now that's centered, and it can go as high as it's supposed to go here. Okay. which is even with that. Perfect. Hey, Nope Queen. Pop bumper assembly is assembling. Pop bumpers assemble. Ow, my face. I'm learning a lot as I go, which is, you know, the point of building models, so that's okay. But yeah, I'm learning a lot as I go. Okay. So. If I face so that is that way, then this one here is the further back small hole. And then we're going to have large hole in the center here. This might be actually where it needs to be roughly. Boom, 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 boom. Oops, don't want that one there. Oops, don't want that there. We're getting it together. Just be patient. Ow. That wasn't very patient, blocks. Dang it. Just one too short. Having a... I might turn off the haste beacon and turn on the leaping beacon, because we're in a... It'd be easier to leap mood. Okay. Now... Facing the back, there is a hole that needs to be behind. Okay, wait, which one's the back? Okay, so there's a hole that needs to be behind this. And... Are we... No, it's on... Which side? Okay, that wire runs up through that post, and that wire runs up... Okay. So there's a wire that needs to run through back here, I think. Actually, wait, I think it needs to be one over. Yeah. It needs to be on the diagonal, actually, with that. Okay, so actually it needs to go here. And then the other one needs to be on the opposite diagonal. So it will go here. Okay. Let's nom nom nom. A little bit of deliciousness. Nom 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 nom. Okay. So this part here is actually going to go up and over, above and beyond that bit. Ooh. Is that going to be a problem? No, it won't. It won't, because... Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so then this part comes here. Okay, yeah. This will be fine. I think that's the entire assembly. And if there's one thing I learned from building it, it's that these things are gigantic and take up way more space under the playfield than I thought. And I might not have left myself enough room to actually put this together. Welcome, Butterbee. Yep, because see, the corners of this and that one would overlap, which I think means I need to move this one up some. Which, honestly, I'm kind of feeling pretty good about, actually. Having that bop into the pops there isn't bad. So we slide that up higher there. How much higher do we need to move this to get clearance past there? So it goes one past it on each side. So we'd have to move this either it's just straight up 2 so it doesn't clip this, which would put us close to in the path of that, but I mean, honestly, that's okay. The bigger question is, what about these other ones? How much do we have to shift them? So this one would have to be shifted to this way, which, oh boy, that's gonna intersect that pop bumper or the drop target assembly pretty good there. Unless we also shifted it some back this way. I mean, I could try building this on a diagonal. In real life, you might have these things on a slight diagonal so that they're not bumping each other. But the question is, how much do I really want to be building twisted pop bumper assemblies? Yeah. Yeah, that's... I mean, logically, that one moving up isn't that big of a problem. This one should probably just straight up be built on a diagonal in such a way that it's not clipping this. But that only works too if this one might need to be a little further out. Okay. Let's go pick up our map here and look at... What does this look like with the map? Oh, interesting. The gray glass is covering it anyway, so... Yeah. Okay. But I mean, yeah, pivoting that is this is the way to make it work. So the way to make it work is going to be to rotate one of them. The one we have to rotate, I think I'm going to build last because it'll stress me out otherwise. But yeah, okay. So we'll definitely move that pop bumper up some. And we'll definitely move that pump bumper over some. We'll remove these targets here. That's going to give us some more to work with. Are we still going to have a 6-block gap, though, here? Because if not... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and punch that other hole here where the screw is going to go. Okay. I mean, really, you could fit these exactly, some of them exactly where they were if you just rotate them. You could just rotate this one and basically keep it where it is. And that'll be okay. I don't love it, but it will function. This one, I don't know. This one, definitely we're moving up. Definitely moving this one up to possibly more. Because how much do we have to move it up to have enough space for this one? So let's just mark this out. So let's say that this is going to go out like so until here, right? On this one. So that means to get clearance on this one, we need to move the whole thing up 3 blocks. So then it can go like bum, 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 and then fit alongside here. Right? Yeah. Well, it would actually be more like... Yeah. And then we point it that way. And then for this one, we point it up that way, so it would have to actually be like this. So these could be touching at that point, but not overlapping. And that would give us clearance with this one easily then, too. Oh, does that screw up our angle for the saucer eject? No, I think we're still good. Okay. Looks like we're coming up on the hour. Just as a reminder, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. This is a viewer-supported stream. We are currently $9 away from the next face camera expansion and $29 away from the entrance of the Jost. I'm feeling real good about this project. I'm just thinking it through. Okay. So, that's gonna work like so there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll keep this one where it is, and that'll extend until it hits there. Yes. Excellent. Let's go lay our heads down and dream here. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. Good evening, Space Demon. Glad you could join us. We are just making progress on our build here. Did I leave andesite down below? We should grab that if so, real quick. Actually, wait, hold on to the second totem. So we're gonna put this extra string in here for now. I might have left andesite down here. I feel like I had left some chests. There they are. Andesite? There we go. Okay, cool, cool, cool. We're gonna need plenty of that for this. So, if this is going to go from the back to the front like that, well, will it? Hold on. Oh, yeah, I guess I can just look at this one. Yep. Okay, so the screw ends up aligned with that one there. Then the second from the back there. Howdy, Scar! Does the same thing happen on the front? Did I do that properly here? Yes, I did. Great. So let's actually punch those screw holes now. Yep, okay, that's perfect. This is going well. So it's gonna come from there to here. Another screw hole. Okay. And then it's gonna go to this one. Hey, Aggro Ninja Raid! Welcome, Raiders! I'm down here in the lower left. My name is Joe Hills. I'm broadcasting live from Nashville, Tennessee. I hope you like pinball machines, because that is what I am building today here on the HermitCraft server. I am just south of our scenic shopping district. Just, I guess, just west of Scarland. And here is my deep field pinball machine. It is a work in progress. Right now, we are working on building pop bumper assemblies. If you've ever seen a pop bumper in a pinball machine, it's got like a whole assembly that like holds it in place and pops it up and does stuff. And we are mounting those pop bumper assemblies below and above the table here. They actually go down 25 blocks from the playfield. It's actually crazy how much stuff goes into one pop bumper. And I made the mistake of designing this machine so that the layout has 4 pop bumpers. So yeah, we got plenty to do there. We are building this playfield at a scale such that it's 128 meters wide, 256 meters deep, which makes the whole machine fit on 2 Minecraft maps. We're building all the way to build height. We've got the machine rising up out of the ocean here, looking pretty good if you ask me. It's not done. This is a work in progress, but we still have plenty of time left in the HermitCraft season to knock this out, so I'm not stressing. We are gonna fly this way. You got the warning labels on the back telling you not to, like, submerge the machine in an ocean, if you will. I might have done that. Just kidding. I didn't submerge it in the ocean. It's rising out of the sea. Welcome, Burke615. Thank you, Tommy Garan. Thank you, Dark Witchcraft, for the kind words. So, yeah. We are currently laying out where each of these is going to mount on the playfield, or under the playfield. And so I was just counting out blocks and knocking out holes for the screws to go in. This is as close to accurate scale of all the components and stuff as I could get. It's not going to be perfect, but, you know, it's going to be close. So I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. We are going to hop down here and start placing these smooth basalt blocks that represent the black plastic of this part of the mount here. So you see it's got like a rectangular underneath. So there's like a rectangular thing with 4 screw holes. Here's one, It's hard for me to show the rest while holding it. Here's one, here's one. So the andesite is where the screws are mounting this into place, basically. So, yeah, that's how we're doing that. So we're going to have the andesite screws come in through here on the other side of that. We're actually going to go much deeper. Where? Oh, no. Let's add some scaffolds here. Luckily, I brought... Well, we're actually almost out. I do have more scaffold making stuff, though, so I'm not worried. Okay. So... Probably should be more worried, though. Falling off the scaffolds while working is not my most productive tip. So don't do that. Okay, we're going to just fill in a few scaffold gaps here. Okay. So, the plate itself is going to go back beyond that by 2 blocks. And then there's going to be a raised thing for the screw to come through here. And, whoops. We're going to chop some bamboo real quick. Okay, we've got plenty of string, but let's go chop some bamboo, because I'm going to keep falling off of this thing. Just to give you some more perspective on where I am on the HermitCraft server, there's Scarland, the volcano, the castle, there's Asuma's crazy mob farm. Ethos base is back this way, and there's a bunch of opportunities to harvest there. What do you call it? Yeah, we need more scaffolding. Let's go chop down some more bamboo while we're real quick at it. Ethos base is over that way. This isn't really Ethos area here. This is kind of between bases. So I don't think anybody's going to mind if we harvest a bunch of bamboo real quick. There's probably some on the ground from when I chopped it earlier, because these chunks haven't been loaded since. We were just over here at the beginning of the stream. And we placed, I don't know, probably like 15 stacks of 15 stacks of scaffolding, and still don't have enough. Okay. We're going to hit a full inventory on this stuff pretty quick. So let's just wait for it to fall, grab it, and be back on our way. Casey Squared knows when it's scaffolding time. Okay, how did I determine what scale I was going to build it in? Perfect. That's a great question. I wanted it to be 128 blocks wide and 256 blocks deep, so it would show up as 2 Minecraft maps when I looked down at it from above. And this update was the first update where that was possible without the machine being really deeply submerged in the ground, because build height is only just now low enough. Or sorry, build height is only just now high enough. This is built all the way to build height, and still part of the cabinet has to plunge into the ocean. We would have had to build the entire thing way deeper underground before they raised the build height with the 1.19 update, right? So I built this to take advantage of the advances in 1.19. So yeah, that's all the way to build height. Also, I got tired of my mine entrance being like a 1x1 ladder. So the part where the bass speaker is going to go, which is over this hole here, there will be a bass speaker over this hole. But for right now, this is my mine entrance, which is pretty handy if you ask me. Although I realized maybe I should have done all of the building that required scaffolds before I dug this giant hole here, because this is part of why we keep running out of bamboo. A lot of these scaffolds are going literally from bedrock to above sea level. Great planning on my part there. But hey, it's HermitCraft, and so anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So that's where we're at. Let's see. I'm going to go back over here to our stabilizer beam. We're going to grab some string and make some more scaffolds real quick. Yeah, this is a construction zone death trap. I agree. But it's my construction zone death trap. Okay, so we're going to put the extra surplus string there. Yeah, so this looks silly, and then you look down and it's even sillier. Okay. I know dirt comes in handy as scaffolding, but this is... This isn't a death trap, it's a death home. Oh, that actually is a joke that I was gonna make. I was working on this one idea that didn't really come to fruition, based on the Curse of Strahd Death House, where, yeah, the characters actually ended up basing out of the Death House and turning it into a death home. Yeah, that project fell through. I had what I thought was a really good idea there, but money... Filming D&D stuff, if you're actually paying the people you're working on with it, is very hard to do. And doing it if you're not paying people is even more challenging because there's no way to make that money back at the scale that, like, my video stuff... Like, we're not going to make that back on advertising. It has to be subsidized. Space Demon. So the Death House is a level 1 and 2 encounter that is considered optional if you're playing with new players who have never played D&D before. Instead, so Curse of Strahd, the book normally starts out at level 3, but there is a introductory session, like as an appendix to the book, for if you're bringing in new players, where you would start them in the Death House instead of the traditional Barovian entrance. So your group might have been too advanced to need the Death House. But yeah, it's unlikely your DM would take you there later in the adventure if you didn't need it at the beginning. Because it doesn't... It kind of sets the tone for Curse of Strahd, but it's not important to the story. You know what I mean? There's nothing essential in the Death House. It's just a lot of like, here's how you do a what do you call it? Here's how you do a this check. Here's how you do a that check. Oh no, here's some basic combat. Casey says this scaffolding is like a nightmarish cross of a bacteriophage and an oil rig. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Dun dun. Dun dun dun. Boom 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 boom. Yeah, I've run the Death House. I built the Death House in Season 5 of HermitCraft as part of my Curse of Strahd themed base, Red Sky Bay. Because it's just like, people are like, oh no, Red Sky Bay, should I take warning or have delight? And I'm like, why not both? But yeah, I built a Death House in Minecraft in Red Sky Bay, and one of the reasons I chose to do that was because that was the update where they added the glazed terracotta, and the Death House is described as having like really ugly carpets and wallpaper and curtains and stuff, and so I could use the glazed terracotta to do a lot of that. And so I've run my Patreon people through the Death House session, or at least I did back in like years ago. I don't have as much time to run fun D&D stuff as I would like, unfortunately, but okay, so we're gonna go like that here, I guess. This is not ideal, but it's like the only way to make this part work. Yeah, M was there, you know. What did you think about the Death House, M? Sufficiently deadly? NJ says, going through Strahd for D4C was very fun. Yep, that was great. Okay. So yeah, this part here is actually elevated sufficiently that I'm like, we're gonna need some more blocks. Where is the actual height part here? Let's put the blocks coming up here and then have it go across. Okay. So how high do we need this to be? Not that high. Just high enough that we can reach that is, I think, the sweet spot here. Okay. And sorry. Hey, Mr. Hardluck. M says I'd still talk about Death House to my D&D friends and just hosted a one-shot over Discord on Saturday. Awesome. Well, I am glad that you are enjoying playing. I am so glad that one of my friends wanted to host a Pathfinder game every Tuesday, because if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would like ever get to play. The fact that somebody just said, "You know what, guys? I'm gonna run a game for everybody," and I'm like, "Yeah," and we're all like, "Yeah." Yeah, we're doing pretty good in that Pathfinder campaign. We started at like level. It was either level 1 or 2. It was, and then we're up to something like. Is it 13 now? I don't know. I don't have my character sheet in front of me, and I'm terrible at remembering numbers. So, but like, yeah, we've been playing basically since Pathfinder, since Pathfinder 2 came out. We've been playing every Tuesday, basically. And they're actually coming out with a new Pathfinder remaster where they tweaked some things. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet because I've been super busy. But, whoops. I've been really having a lot of fun with Pathfinder. Okay, so we need to go one lower here. It's not that much lower. Okay, so that's gonna come down like that. Whoops. Okay, whoops. M says, my husband plans to host weekly D&D at our house now that we've moved in. Oh, congrats on getting all moved in and everything. That's cool. I'm still doing that thing where it's like, I'm living in an apartment that I don't know if I'm going to renew the lease on, so I don't want to invest in it. But I might end up being here for 10 more years. Probably not 10 years, but like, yeah. It's like, well, I don't need to unpack these boxes. I might be moving soon. Or when my daughter goes to college in 8 years. We'll find out later. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, everything with housing is a nightmare. I concur, Em. Okay. Oops. Gonna come out this way here. Space Demon says, I'm hosting a campaign in March, which will be my first time DMing. Any tips? It's a horror-themed campaign, if that helps at all. If it's a horror-themed campaign, definitely talk to your players up front about, like, what is fun horror and what is too much for them. Because you want to... It's really... running a horror campaign is very challenging. Because you want it to be scary without no longer being fun. And knowing where those boundaries are requires knowing your players and being able to respond to them in a very attentive way. So, I'm not saying, you shouldn't do it because, if you know these people, you can figure it out as you go. But definitely have some conversations with the group. Like, have a session 0 where you're, like, going over your character sheets together, looking at everything, making sure that everybody's happy with their setups, that there's no problems. But also say, okay, so what would stop this from being fun for you? Because, like, there might be one person who's like, spiders are so terrifying for me that I wouldn't be able to distinguish fantasy from reality, and I would just freak out and need to leave. And you'd be like, okay, cool. I can substitute anytime spiders would show up with, like, slime monsters, right? And if the conversations you have there are like, wow, it turns out everybody here is afraid of everything, don't be afraid to say, that's fine, we don't have to run a horror campaign, we can do something more adventure-y, and then just do that, right? Nope Queen says, like, I wasn't expecting my Cthulhu campaign to have so many spiders. Yeah, see, that's the sort of thing that can really, people don't necessarily know. And so the other thing too is you need to say, like, okay, also, because I'm going to be pushing some boundaries here, you guys need to feel comfortable saying to me straight up, like, oh, hey, you've overstepped here. Like, I appreciate that you're trying to be scary, but this is no longer fun. This is actually upsetting me in a way. I thought I would be fine with it, but, like, I thought I was over the fact that my father was murdered by a man with a hook hand, but you know what? Now that you're telling this story about this man with a hook for a hand, I'm actually really freaking out. Like, could we take a break? Could we maybe maybe my character, maybe I need to excuse myself for this session. Maybe we need to do something else, That's a problem you're going to have in a horror campaign that you're not going to have in most other campaigns. And so you just need to be upfront with people about it and be prepared to deal with it as it arises. Okay. So where is the glass change? The glass change is there. Okay. Okay, so Chloe the Great and Powerful says, I like to use the lines and veils system for player safety when I'm DMing horror. Oh, yeah, I've heard of this, but I don't know if I could summarize it without screwing it up. Is there a good source? Like, who actually wrote? I feel like there's a specific person who came up with this system. And I'm not, like, when I'm Googling it, I'm not finding... Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the lines and veils spreadsheet is here. And so, like, the idea is that, like, the idea of a veil is that there are some topics that people are fine with having mentioned in the campaign, but they don't necessarily want to see it portrayed on screen. Like, let's say somebody, one of your players has a problem with alcohol abuse, and they're just like, I straight up don't want any mention of alcohol in this campaign because it'll upset me. You can say, okay, that's a hard line. That's fine. We're not going to mention alcohol. We're going to be in a fantasy setting that doesn't even have it. Doesn't exist. That's fine. A veil would be somebody saying, you know, I don't mind, like, I know I live in a world where alcohol exists, and I'm fine with this being a world where alcohol exists, but could we maybe not do that on screen, right? Like, we can mention, like, oh, hey, this guy showed up drunk, but, like, I don't want us to go to a party where everybody's drinking, because it reminds me of real parties where everybody's drinking. You know what I mean? Like, we can visit a winery, but, you know, I don't want, you know what I mean? Like, you can kind of have it be, or you could have it be part of a backstory at that point. Like, hey, you could reference that this character drank in the past and actively avoids alcohol now. But you ask the DM, like, hey, because as a character, I want to avoid alcohol. Could you please, and a player, could you please avoid putting us in scenes where everyone's drinking? You know, like that sort of thing. It does, and the alcoholism is just one example of something like that. It doesn't have to be that. And that spreadsheet has like a whole list of things that might be upsetting to people potentially. Alcoholism is just the top of the list alphabetically. But harm to animals would be another thing. Some people might get really upset about that. Other people would understand, like, hey, it says something about the bad guy if he's cruel to his horses, right? So you gotta talk to your players and find out what people are fine with and what people aren't. You know, like a lot of people might be fine with natural disasters, but if one of your players like barely survived one of them and half their family didn't, I don't know, maybe don't put that in your game. Like, it's, you know, it's an escapist, fun, entertaining diversion until all of a sudden it's just like, okay, you know, I was in that tsunami. That was not cool to bring up, you know? So you gotta really, you gotta know your people, is the thing. And the way to get to know your people is to talk about them, or talk about this stuff with them up front. Okay. So here we go. We're trying to get this other plate in place here. Nola says, I played a ranger with an animal companion, and my dungeon master was not okay with animal harm, so my panther had plot armor the entire campaign. Yeah, nice, nice. Space Demon says, there are things as a DM I don't want to even bring up in a horror setting. Yeah, that's why, too, you need to express to your players, like, if one of them's like, you know, you said this was a horror setting, but, like, we haven't seen a single spider this whole time, but you're like, well, there were never going to be spiders in this because I don't like them. Then they might be like, oh, okay, I need to recalibrate my expectations then, right? Because, like, what people enjoy and don't enjoy in horror is very particular. Let's place all the blocks. Placing lots of blocks in Minecraft. Woo! Okay. So. Morning, Lozaza. Glad you could join us. Okay. We have made quite a bit of progress here on these two. We're gonna have to push this entire thing up here further that way. Can you even see the progress on this thing with the scaffolding in there? I'm actually kind of concerned you can't. But Okay. Yeah, okay. So just as a reminder, this is a viewer-supported stream. We are currently $9 away from the next face camera expansion milestone and $29 away from the entrance of the Jost. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. I'm trying to figure out... So I actually need to record a new outro to this episode because the last HermitCraft episode we had go out. The Total Chaos one, I actually did Drew Baca. I moved Drew Baca's acknowledgement into the Total Chaos one because of the embargo. Which means I need to record a new outro for this episode with a thanks to a different Patreon patron. So let's see, who was in the queue next? Monate. Okay, cool. So I think we are, yeah. I'm trying to figure out if there's a good place that you can actually see how low that scaffolding, like the structure goes there. And the other question is it going to be viable to portray that better if we... Yeah, okay, so lined up with this here. Not down here. This is the worst place to view anything. But okay, so from back here, up on the coin thing, you can kind of see it. Okay, nights turn in, or days turn into night. So okay. So let's see. I do need to write a haiku. Pop bumpers. Maybe the haiku should be about stat poker, because this is the episode that's going to have the stat poker in it. Okay. Stat poker with friends beneath the museum. Beneath the... That's only 6. Beneath the good museum. Take that, Cleo. Stat poker with friends beneath the good museum. Can bleed diamonds fast. Okay. So, yeah, we got that set up. Okay. So then the question is, how much of this can we knock out real quick? We doing okay on scaffolds? Yeah, we are. Okay. Yeah, let's get some more scaffolds in real quick over here. It's hard to land on the right level with the scaffolds. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna nail it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Oh, we're not gonna have enough torches for this. Yeah, we will. I brought torches. Woo! Okay. Do do do. Do 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 do. Da da da. Bum 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 bum. Okay. So, is it this level I need to be down to, or... Yay, okay, so we're getting that across there. Dang it. Nope. Don't want those there. Want these there. Yay. Whoops. Okay. Lighting up as we go. La 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 la. La 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 la. These are my folds. Got to get hold of a scaffold. Bum, 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 bum. Da, da, da. Do, do. That's fine. Casey says, I live in fear of Joe hitting the wrong block and sending it all tumbling down. Well, this stream is 15 seconds behind. Yeah, that happened right before you said that. That was not me like, aha, I'll make a joke because Casey said that. That was me going, well, nobody will notice. The thing is, though, like, because this is why we have the full grid in, because it's real easy to get the stuff back in place from this point. Like, if this was all one block supporting it, we'd have more problems, but this is actually like a whole array here. Dang it. Welcome, Bird. Glad you could join us. Can mobs spawn on scaffolds? If they're not lit. Or if they're slimes. Okay. What do we need? We need... Oh, we're out of scaffolds, really. And we also are low on rockets. Okay, so... based on how that one worked here... this has gotten a little silly. Yeah, okay. So it goes 1, 2, 3. So that's 6. This should actually be one lower here. Okay. That should be, okay. So we come over to, from there, we go 5? 5 forward, straight ahead from there. Okay. Yeah, this scaffold here is gonna have to go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starting there. And then it's gonna come over 1, 2. Then this is where that's gonna come down. And then that's gonna come out here. 1, 2. Maybe 1. Okay. Try to, yeah. Casey Squared says, oops, I'll try to be less prophetic. Thank you. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be the same depth here. Do we actually have that cutting up one? Yeah, we do. Okay. So what depth is this at? This is at 84. Okay. How did I lose this thing? Okay, it's up there. Okay. Oh, yeah, because I didn't punch a hole in the ground. Ooh. Okay, so this is going to come down there. Like so. And then out this way, like so. Okay. Did I say that was 84? Hey, Gusty Gill. Yep, stream's still going. 84, yep. And that's close enough to here. So those two are going to be right there. Is this 84? Might be. Womp womp. $84. Okay, great. So these two are going to go here and here. Whoops. Did we accidentally place one under there? No. Good, good, good. Wait. You're welcome, Collie Wolf. Glad you could join us. Okay. So, bleh. Bleh. We're gonna be fine. We've survived decked out. We can survive this. Okay, so it looks like those two right there need to be broken. So the way this works is it's going to be coming over like this and then back up like that. Up until looks like two more. And then nope, not quite yet, but after this, yeah. And then we'll come back down. Okay, so let's just get this part in first. Oh, we also have to mark where the screws go. So the screws are going to go two in from there. Yeah, and then one up here. No, no, just right here. Okay. What do I think of Scar's non-sanctioned decked out runs? I wasn't aware of them. I've spent most of the weekend either spending time with my kid or working on my own stuff. I don't have time to judge other people. Unless, like, Vintage Beef asked me to judge other people. Like, in the TCG, he was, like, explicitly asking Cleo and I to be judges. So we did. But That's a little different. Okay, so how close are we to eye level with that? Not yet. Okay. Welcome, Mars Pooks. Glad you could join us. We are currently here on the HermitCraft server working on our pop bumper assembly. This is what a real-life pop bumper assembly looks like. It is really tall. Goes way underneath a pinball playfield, way deeper than you would expect. There's a coil down here that makes this part pull down and fling the ball away. And we are building the mounts for those now, which is like a whole thing. Believe it. Okay, so we come in 2 from there. And so 1, 2, then we have this screw here. And then, wait, hold on. Did we screw that up down there? No, if we didn't screw that up down there, then how is it wrong here? That's a good question. How do we have a consistency problem like this? Okay, 1, 2. Oh, wait. No, this is supposed to be over 1 more here. So we're going to actually move that to there. Then we're going to move that to there. This goes here, then. And then it's going to come out 2 more. Before it goes this way 1. Then it's going to come this way and over 1. So, welcome, Raiders. We are currently working on my colossal scale pinball machine. We actually need to go get more materials anyway, so I might as well fly up real quick and give you all a view of it. This is HermitCraft server. Scarland is over that way. Shopping District is over here. Zombie Cleo's base is over there. Cubs Museum is there. And here's my base, a colossal scale pinball machine. It goes all the way to build height. It rises out of the sea. It's 128 meters wide, 256 meters deep. This is pretty nice. I am very happy with it. So, as you can see, 128 meters by 256 meters actually works pretty well as a map. So, you know, we can actually see the playfield. That's part of the reason I did it at this scale. This would have been impossible to do in the old version of Minecraft because basically, what do you call it? Hold on. Let me real quick ban this person. Done. It would have been impossible to do this at this scale because build height was too short. We would have had to push this way below the ground instead of having it rise up out of the sea like it does. Punky says, that's the biggest base I have ever seen. Oh, well, my neighbor Doc actually has a bigger base. Let me turn my view distance up real quick. Yeah, 140 seems about right. Yeah, so this is my base. It's big, but then Scarland is over here, as well as Doc M's perimeter. My pals on HermitCraft all have huge bases. So let me see if I can let this load in for a second. I'll fly upward for a second just to get a little bit more elevation. Yeah, so Doc's base is bigger than mine. It's a hole to bedrock. My base could fit inside of here. He's been doing murals and stuff on the walls. It looks really sweet. If you haven't watched his videos, he's DocM77 on YouTube. Meanwhile, there's a dragon up there. 2 dragons, actually. There's also Scarland over here. My friend Scar is not online, so he won't shoot me out of the sky. But I've got a VIP pass to Scarland, so I'm allowed to stop here now. But yeah, it's basically like Scar loves theme parks and has studied Disney World extensively. And yeah, so my base is rising up in the background there. Meanwhile, Tango Tech's Decked Out is over here. We're not going to play Decked Out right now, but like, just to give you a sense, like, anybody who has not seen HermitCraft before saying like, wow, Joe, your base is, I've never seen anything bigger. There's some really cool stuff on this server. So I just want to show it off real quick. Tango Tech, his incredibly awesome Decked Out castle is up here. Pearlescent Moon's crazy flower base is back in the distance behind it. But yeah, I helped with some of the terraforming around Decked Out. I'm really proud of how this landscape ended up over here. Sorry the frame rate kind of drops when we turn the render distance up high. Are there any small things on the server? I made a pillar of diamonds for the spiders. That's only like 7 blocks tall. Whoa, when did they terraform this? Is this spoilers? If y'all aren't watching Pearlescent Moon's videos, you probably should be. This is looking wild. I'm glad I didn't frostify all this. But yeah, Gemini Tay's base is there. Corrales' base is out this way. Corrales has like this whole ship over here and stuff. She's been working on it on stream. Technologic says, thank you, Techno. So, yeah, so it's not a spoiler, but yeah. We've got all sorts of huge stuff all over the server here. Looks like I haven't loaded these chunks lately, so my long-distance render of it was inaccurate. Stuff's getting added in. Okay, so we can fly back up this way and back toward my base. Kind of do a quick glide from a good height here. Okay. So as we glide back toward my base, just as a reminder, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. This is a viewer-supported stream, and we are currently $9 away from the next expansion milestone, 29 away from the entrance of the Joust. So yeah, you can see my pinball machine back there. It's not that huge compared to some of this stuff. I mean, it's actually pretty big compared to most things that aren't dock space. But yeah, dock's perimeter there. My entire pinball machine could fit inside of this. Got Mumbo's base here, flying over that. Grian's base, Scarland. Yeah. Yeah, the pinball machine is very big. You're not wrong. It is large, but it's definitely not the largest base on HermitCraft. Okay, so we're gonna swing back through here. Here's our shopping district, as well as our starter area. A lot of cool stuff over here. It's a fun server to play on. I'm very lucky to play with so many cool people. Nico and Indy says the museums seem kind of small. Yeah, that's true. And there's some regular size houses in Spawn Town. We're gonna turn the view distance back down to something that's not insane for a minute. 35 seems good. Hopefully I'm not going to fly into anything. I tried to give myself enough time there. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we need to grab some blocks to continue our build anyway. Why does the dragon have a house on it? It's supposed to have a construction hard hat on it. Okay. What's the theme of the pinball? Oh, I came up... So, this is a custom theme in terms of the art and the playfield layout. I call it Deep Field. It's a design based on space telescopes and space telescope imagery. So I've got some pixel art over here. I interpreted some JWST photos in order to create this cool paint job for this side of the machine. The actual playfield layout I came up with myself. We've got 7 drop targets in a row that represent the Chandra X-ray Observatory. We're going to basically have the different parts of the infrared spectrum we use space telescopes for represented by different playfield elements. So, Over here, infrared would be represented by these rollovers. Visible light would be represented by this shot that leads up into the pop bumpers. Let's see. Ultraviolet, we've got a captive ball here that you would hit some targets back there with. We've got X-rays for the Chandra X-ray Observatory, and then gamma rays, there's going to be a spinner here. And so the idea is that if you hit all the shots for all 5 of the different parts of the spectrum, it would start broad spectrum multi-ball. So, yeah. That's the core concept here. I also should probably show off the back of the machine since I worked really hard on the warning label. My pal Etho lives over here, and I didn't want the back of the pinball machine. I didn't know anybody was going to move in over here. He moved in to this area mid-season, and I was like, well, I can't have the pinball machine look ugly from Etho's house. So I worked really hard on getting these labels in on the back that I'm pretty happy with. These look like the actual labels you'd see on the back of a real spooky pinball machine. Also, real quick, we got a tip rolling in from Collie for 30, who says, my partner's boyfriend has never seen an appearance of the Jost. Had to let him experience it. Well, thank you so much, Collie. First off, for any of the Raiders or anyone else coming in who is boyfriending Collie's partner, if you've never seen Joe Hill stream before, every time we hit a tipping milestone, the camera gets bigger. So, for example, we were $9 away from the next one. And so here we go. Please direct your attention out here to the lower left to Expand Joe. Doo-doo-doo-doo. So now the camera is slightly larger than it was before. And so we've had 4 tipping milestones like that so far. But Collie tipping 30 actually puts us 1 past our next milestone. So, y'all have seen that money go straight to my head with each face camera expansion milestone we hit. But, like Jacob Marley, now these chains I forged in life are about to begin pulling us down to the deep below. Enter the Jost. Bum, 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 bum. At this point, each additional face camera expansion milestone we hit will be accompanied by a corresponding drop in Joe-pacity. We are now at 90% Joe-pacity, so if I pull up this text, you should be able to see it through my skin. Ooh. Thank you again to Collie. That puts us 19 away from our next face camera expansion milestone. Also, hey, Dav Sprite. Thank you for joining us. Looks like we got some other folks popping in, too. Welcome R. Knudsen and Xander the Mander in the YouTube chat. Glad you could join us. We got 3 chats going. Discord for the Patreon patrons, Twitch for the Twitch folks, and YouTube chat for the YouTube folks. So, anyway, yeah, I actually looked at the real labels on the back of a spooky pinball machine, and some people are like, oh, just throw it through a JPEG converter and it'll tell you what blocks to use. And I'm like, I would rather look at the size of each word and then figure out how many blocks to put in each word. Yay. So, welcome, Crimes. I'm glad. So, anyway, like I said, there's a lot of impressive angles to view this pinball machine at. Unfortunately, the one we're actually working from is the scaffolding where we're installing the pop bumper assemblies. Woo! A pop bumper assembly looks like this. It's got a pop bumper cap on the top. I shouldn't have gotten one that would chroma out. It's got a skirt that when you press down on it, or when the ball presses down on it, it pushes down on this contact here, which triggers a leaf switch. If I do this closer, you can see that post in the center is pushing down and making contact with that leaf switch, right? So if that leaf switch is contacting, well, that's going to then trigger this, which will, whoops, I'm not in frame. It'll trigger this coil down here to pull this down, and the ball will fly away when it gets, that part gets pulled down, right? And you'll notice, though, all of these components are mounted to this big plastic mount, this black plastic mount here. We're currently building those mounts here. And then we're going to put all the other parts on it. Yay! Okay. Cool. So, we have one over there that we got all the plastic in. Oh, yeah, we needed blocks. Let's go get those blocks. They're over here. So yeah, this is as close to proper scale as I could get. You know, we've got like an actual coin door over there with like a coin tray. We've got these mounts here are actually based on this part. This part here is in each of the corners of a pinball machine. And it's got bolts that the legs will go through. And it will have like a wooden wedge behind it that it holds in place to reinforce the corners. So, yep. Nico and Indy says, I love the clicky noises of the pop bumper assembly makes. Collie Wolf says, really do love you how the part itself makes it so much easier to envision it all. It's such a complicated piece of machinery. Not that metal plate, but the pop bumper assembly. That, yeah, I was trying to look at diagrams of the pop bumper assembly to figure out how to build one for this, and I was just like, no. That is not going to reasonably happen in, like, I'm a pretty imaginative person, but there's so many moving parts in a pop bumper assembly and so many different parts that go into it. I was like, I just need to order one. So there was a sale for Chicago Pinball Expo a few weeks ago. So I was able to snatch up that and a few other pinball parts at a deep discount. But yeah, y'all, just so you know, like I said, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. I do reinvest money into the stream, buying equipment. I know I complain about when I can't make rent, but when I can make rent, don't worry, I won't save the extra. It'll go straight into the stream, because that's the sort of judgment you can expect on this channel. Yeah. So let's see. We're getting this in place. Woo! So there's going to be a gap over top of that one, comparable to those gaps there. This is going to go up here, and then actually at the same level as that one, we want this to represent a screw going through. We're going to actually do the screw heads and the bolts on the other sides later, once we get the plates that they attach to in. Right now, I'm just worried about getting this plastic assembly piece in. But if I don't mark where those screw holes are while I'm building, it gets way harder. It's easier to count distances and stuff while you're placing blocks than afterwards. Brutality says, what inspired you to build this? Sorry if I've answered that 1,000 times. It's looking great. Great question, Brutality. I don't mind answering. The thing is, when you're on a server like HermitCraft, and you're gonna be working on something, you know, for months, if not like over a year. You want to build something that's interesting to you at all sorts of different scales. Like, every component inside of a pinball machine is interesting to me, but also the design and layout of pinball machines is interesting to me, right? So you want a project that has fractal interest, where you can really drill down. And so at the beginning of every HermitCraft season, when I'm like, what could I build? I try to really think about, like, what are things that I could work on for a year and a half and still run out of time, right? What do I have so much interest in? Because people are like, how do you not get bored working on the same thing all the time? It's like, well, a pinball machine isn't one same thing, right? Like, if you're building just like a geometric mega base that is just like based on like repeating mathematical patterns, yeah, that's one thing at a large scale. But this is like a pinball machine is 1,000 things, maybe not 1,000, but a pinball machine is dozens of things. Like, we have it like how is the play field cut? How does the coin door attach? How do these legs meet the frame? How do these flaps work? Like, a lot of this stuff I've only got sketched in. Like, the back of the coin door here is actually missing a bunch of really complicated components. You know, why is the tray this size? Why is how big is the subwoofer and why? Like, every part of it is like engineered in such a way that like you can learn more and more about what makes it work, right? Coming up with the theme for the machine, like the fact that I didn't know when I started that I was definitely going to do space. I was worried that the JWST would not deploy correctly at the beginning of the season, because a lot of people were like, I don't know if you remember when they dropped it, but I was just like, ah, man, I've been waiting for this satellite to launch forever, right? Briggs says, I used to fix pinball machines. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's a great thing. Like, there's a lot of really cool pinball techs here in Nashville that keep our machines running. And I love playing a good, well-maintained pinball machine. So thank you, Briggs. Who knows? Maybe one of the machines I've played was something that you fixed at one point. Because they circulate, too. People trade, buy and sell machines. They get all over the country, all over the world, even. But yeah. So yeah, just coming up with the theme and the layout. Like, I had to research a bunch of stuff about layouts. I've traveled all over the... I was going to say all over the country. I traveled to multiple states to play a bunch of old pinball machines that were kind of from the same era I was going for the vibe of this one. Yeah. And hey, we got a tip real quick from Leslie for 5, who says, hey, Joe, are you going to read any novels on stream this winter? Really enjoyed Dracula last winter. Woo! That is a great question, Leslie. I don't have an answer for you on that. I would like to get back to it. One of the things, though, is part of the point of those streams was to gather all the materials we needed to build this. And, like, we're not really at a grindy point in the season. You know what I mean? Like, I might save that for the next season when we're gathering a bunch of materials again. Because at this point, I'm in the process of, like, putting in all these pinball machine parts, and there's a lot of math and thinking about the geometry that doesn't lend itself well to, I'm going to read a novel on stream. I love doing it, but it's one of those time and place things. Welcome, Roshi Gamer. Goot says, love the abacus. Thank you. I use it to keep track of tips cumulatively toward the next face camera expansion milestone. So the fact that there's 6 beads right here, that means we're 14 away from the next expansion. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to get this all in here like so. I feel like this is enough for me to... I'm going to need to wrap up this episode, is the problem. Because I've got a lot of footage of us hanging out, but the problem is us hanging out interrupted me working on this. And so I kind of felt like, well, I need to show that I came back and finished my work after palling around with my friends. Okay, whoops. Yeah, this maybe should be higher, actually. Well, no, oh, wait, yeah. Yeah, so this should be up 1 higher here, maybe? No, it goes up 1 higher here. Nope, did that wrong twice. Okay, now it's fixed. Okay, so the idea is, though, now that we've got these 2 in place, if I go somewhere... Welcome, Corral Raiders! My name is Joe Hills. I'm broadcasting live from Nashville, Tennessee, here on the HermitCraft server. If you don't know what HermitCraft is, it is a vanilla Minecraft SMP, famous for its large bases. Let's go ahead and turn our render distance up a little bit higher. 118 seems reasonable, so I can show off some of those bases. My friend Scar has been working on his own version of Disneyland. He loves researching theme parks. He calls it Scarland, the most magical place on HermitCraft. He's got a volcano and a castle and like an entire like downtown Disney type thing back over here, which is coming into frame now. My friend Doc M77 has a giant pit in the ground that he's covering with graffiti, because that's the sort of person he is. Let's let that load in for a second here, and then we'll show my base. Just because I showed my base first earlier, and people were like, well, that's the biggest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, these 2 other things are bigger. So yeah, Doc M77's base is right there. Then, when we fly up here and we check out my base, it's going to load in if we give it a second. It is a colossal scale pinball machine I call Deep Field. It is based on, or themed around, space telescopes. I'm doing the theme and the play field layout myself. The art is from the JWST. I've been interpreting that into pixel art bit by bit. We can fly over here, and Karail says, how is this server not crashing? We have literally paid people to write custom mods after analyzing like logs of our server around the things that make our server crash. Like we have some custom performance mods that were not cheap. But yeah. So anyway, here's our play field here. I was just in the process of putting in some pop bumper mounts here. An actual real world pop bumper mount would look like this. There's this plastic thing here. Then the whole thing here is called a pop bumper assembly. And mounted to this, we've got a coil down here. We've got a leaf switch. We have up here the actual pop bumper cap, a skirt that when the ball rolls over it will cause this bit here to come down and make the ball fly away. And so yeah, we are in process on recording an outro to an episode ostensibly about building this pop bumper assembly mount. We built 2 of them out of the 4 we need. We've got 4 holes in here that represent where pop bumpers are going to go. And what I need to do is I need to figure out where I can stand where the scaffolding doesn't completely obscure these mounts. Okay. This is kind of good enough, maybe. So, yeah, there we go. I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders. Nope, just kidding. That's the pop bumper assembly mounts. Ooh, that elytra is about to die. Let's swap that out. Have I ever thought about building my own pinball machine? I would love to do that. I don't have a workshop for it, but as I've been designing this machine, I've been designing it in such a way that it follows all the real-world logic and rules of an actual pinball machine. Yep, this is survival. As we were talking about earlier, Frank, somebody was like, Joe, when are you going to start reading books on stream again? I actually spent about half a year reading Dracula on stream while gathering supplies, because it's pretty boring to watch me go mine out a desert or chop down a billion trees. And it's even more boring to do it. So I was just like, I'm going to read Dracula and do a bunch of silly voices. So some of the viewers here have actually watched me gather all of these supplies over the last year or so. Somebody was asking why I don't read books on stream anymore. It's because now that we've got all the supplies, I need to spend my energy actually building this out. But yeah. So you can see here, like, there's like, basically this is like molded plastic. That would be, it's hard to see inside of here, but underneath this skirt, there's like a bunch of molded plastic parts that like the rest of these upper bits fit into. So, Frank Paul says, man, this is impressive. The scale is huge. Yeah, I did it at this scale, partially to celebrate the 119 extension of the build height, because this goes all the way up to build height and then drops into the sea. It's 128 meters wide and 256 meters deep, so that way it fills 2 maps, which is perfect if you're trying to, you know, make something that actually looks like a pinball machine in Minecraft. Zen Figment says, the voices during Dracula were so fun. Thank you. Dark Witchcraft says, I prefer to build small, but it's fun to watch. And meanwhile, in YouTube, thank you for the tip from Andre Wall, who tips 20. Boom, that's going to get us 4 past our next face camera expansion milestone. Every time we hit one of those milestones, we expand Jost. We're going to lower the Joe opacity now to 80%. And Andre writes, Joe, heard you're going to PAX this year. Do you know if there will be any HermitCraft TCG cards available there? Great question. We will be at PAX Unplugged, myself and Vintage Beef. Let me go ahead and post that Unplugged PAX site link. Our panel and our signing will be on December 3rd. I'll be there all weekend. Beef is only going to really be there on Sunday because he's got some other obligations with family stuff. But here's the thing. We don't have extra cards to sell. And also, booths at PAX for selling things are like hundreds of dollars. But yeah, basically, the cards were pre-order only. The folks who made the cards do have a waiting list. if you, because some people did cancel their order, so they have like a few extra boxes from canceled orders. But basically, the company that we printed these through doesn't do warehousing. They don't hold stock and then sell it later. They only do pre-order based sales. Rex Verdi says, PAX Unplugged, you say? We might run into each other. Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Rex. I hope we do. Yeah, Rex Verdi will definitely be at PAX, because he's one of the people I am splitting a room with. If you haven't been to a convention before, make friends and then split rooms with them, because you can save a lot of money. Gideon says, Joe, have you considered building your pinball machine and virtual pinball software when you're done? I would not mind learning how to do that, but right now, I can't commit to that. But yeah. Okay, so let's see. So this here is actually going to come in like so. Yeah, if you didn't pre-order the cards, it might be hard to get them. The problem is you really need to print 3 million cards in order to hit a scale where you can kind of get retail pricing on the printing. And we were only able to print like 1.2 million, which still sounds like a lot of cards, and it is a lot of cards, but basically HermitCraft isn't popular enough to print things to sell like that. It's not cost effective is at our scale. We would love to be able to do it, but we're not there. Brian says your glasses are rad. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Gideon, I can't speak to specifics about that. Because it gets complicated, because what makes an individual card cost money is, like, resetting the presses and stuff like that. And so, like, there is, like, an average amount that the cards cost. But, like, the more variations of cards you have, like, the actual game has, 24 hermits and a bunch of items and a bunch of effect cards and a bunch of this and a bunch of that. So, like, I don't know the cost per unit is the short version, but I do know we would need to sell like 3 times as many in order to actually print them at a scale to make them like retail viable. And, like the fact that we did this well was shocking. They did not expect us to do this well, but yeah. Or Nuts says you could cut a piece of cabinet grade plywood in standard size to use as wall art with the artwork and the playfield parts in place and basic wiring for illumination. That is true. That is true. I would not mind doing that. Okay, so we've got this bit in the middle. That's going to go up 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Bum, 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 bum. Then we're going to have... Let's see. Let's go look at the one over here. We're going to have the 2 posts that are like that, adjacent to it. Okay. One hole going in. Oh, actually not there. It's going to go here and here. Gideon says, Joe, be aware if you want it to become a good trading card game, take into consideration that Pokemon went out of business from adults turning it into a stock market. This isn't the only case. Well, here's the thing is, I think it's a good TCG because it's playable. And I think the people who bought it are going to have fun with it. But the problem is, we can't determine how many units get printed. We can't say, oh, we're going to print an extra 2 million cards so that we can hit retail scale, because we don't have that kind of money, right? Like, whatever we sold was what we sold. You know, there wasn't like, we didn't have a meeting where we decided how many we were going to print. We said we're going to print as many as we can afford to. And what we could afford to was what people bought, you know? And so, like, that's as responsive to the market as you can get, really. But, like, yeah. Okay. So, let's see. If we were coming at this from this side, that one's going to be over in here. Okay. This one's going to be here. That one's going to be up there. But the reason that we did the collectible cards as a separate sale was so that people who were like, I absolutely have to have this one Hermit's card, could get it no matter what. That's why we did that. Because, like, we knew there would be some people who'd be like, if I don't get a Grian card, I will just die. If I don't get this card, I will be so upset, right? And so that's why we did that. And I think that was the right call. Pokemon is on a different scale of fandom versus HermitCraft. I don't know about that, Nola. I do know about that. Nola is right. Pokemon is a lot bigger than HermitCraft, right? And Nintendo is a company that actually exists, whereas the Hermits don't even. We don't have a company. We're a coalition, right? We're a bunch of folks who make cool stuff together. But yeah, we're not one business. We have a website? Yeah, it's the best. No, actually, Hypnosis worked very hard on it. But yeah, so as Dark Witchcraft points out, that was good because if you could only have enough money for one card, you could get that one. Yeah, because we had figured there would be some viewers who were like, I have to get the Hermit I care deeply about. And this way they could have that card, and they probably weren't going to play with it at that point anyway, so it might as well be in a nice display. It won't ruin the meta of the game that people were like, well, the Joe Hills card's the best, so if that card's playable, that's be a problem, you know. So okay, I think this is coming together pretty well. We got 2 of those in place now. We're not actually a co-op, because a co-op has like business. A co-op is a specific type of business, and we're not a business together, Cavman. So, we're an artist collective, not an artist cooperative. Alrighty, have a good night, Nola. So, okay. I think we're about ready to go record this next bit here. So let's maybe come up here for a minute. Okay. So before we start the next recording segment, just as a quick reminder, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. No, we are not a guild, because a guild is open to artisans. A guild would be, like, if you made a YouTubers guild, it would be open to all YouTubers. Or, like, a guild would be broader. I think collective. I think artists collective is the closest description to what we are that you're gonna find. Okay. But anyway, just as a reminder, we are $16 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are going to do a recording segment. If you've never seen a Joe Hill stream before, right now I'm talking to the chat. I'm being really active, blah, blah, blah. What happens next is we turn the face camera off. I hit start recording, and I say, HermitCraft Season 9, Episode 90? What is the actual episode number here? It helps if on the marker I know what episode I'm recording. 91 maybe. Yeah, that might be it. I should just pull. Yeah, episode 91. segment outro, take one, and action. It was a lot of fun playing stat poker with the pals, but now I've actually gotten back here and done some work. We've got 2 of our pop bumper mounts mounted. All of the other parts of the pop bumper assembly will be attached or affixed to these plastic mounts here. Now, these other 2 pop bumpers, I've realized I might need to tweak a little bit in order to make them fit. So this one's going to get pushed back. This pop bumper might get moved a little bit, and then the pop bumper assembly might need to be angled some. I'm realizing it might be hitting that one either way. We're gonna revisit this one. This one, maybe not. I don't know. We'll figure out how it goes. But these pop bumper assemblies are actually pretty big here, and luckily they're made out of plastic, so they're not too heavy. As I feel their weight on my shoulders. Well, that's not exactly the scale I wanted. Here it is. Boom! Those actually go down 25 blocks below the playfield there. And they're going to have a coil that mounts on them. They're going to have some leaf switches, a bunch of other... Well, a leaf switch. 1 leaf switch each. Leaf switches for every pop bumper assembly mount. Woo! But yeah, so there's going to be stuff that attaches here. I've got these screw holes marked for where that'll go. This has been a lot more scaffolding than I thought I was going to need for this project. But you know what? That's okay. We're getting things done here. And I am excited about the progress. Now, I hope you were excited this episode too. You may have noticed that this episode was mid-roll ad-free. That's thanks to Patreon sponsor Monete. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now present a haiku of my own devising. Stat poker with friends beneath the Good Museum. Wait, we're gonna do a quick fade out here. Let's go up on this tree real quick. You may have noticed that this episode was mid-roll ad-free. That's thanks to Patreon sponsor Monete. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now present a haiku of my own devising. Stat poker with friends beneath the Good Museum can bleed diamonds fast. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Stream, don't leave. That's not the end of the stream, just the end of the recording. I'm going to turn the camera back on and talk to y'all some more. I just need to get that footage in. Face camera back on. Because we're at kind of a good stopping point. So I don't want to have episode 91 because it's already a really long episode. I don't want to have a bunch of stuff about moving these pop bumpers in there. So basically, we're going to start recording episode 92 with talking about, like, okay, we need to move 2 of these pop bumpers a little bit, and here's why, and also how, and that sort of thing. Scar joined the game. Yay, Scar. Okay. So, yeah, the Scar. I am a little bit worried about the diagonal that this thing is going to have to take. Because I'm looking at it. It's going to intersect with those basically no matter what at this point. So we might end up needing something else here. And I haven't entirely figured out what. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, we'll play with this. We'll play with this. Thank you very much, Collywolf. Glad you enjoyed the haiku. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to do last call for tips because it's almost 11:30. Usually I try to wrap up early on a school night, but since I was trying to get this video to a point, I really needed to get both of those mounts in. Whoops, I forgot to... I'm missing that part that sticks out there, that tongue bit. That's fine. But yeah, I really wanted to get this to a point where I could get this next episode out the door probably sometime tomorrow. Probably not first thing, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this done before bed. We got a coffee stream tomorrow morning. I might try. I'm not sure if the coffee stream is going to be here or on Vault Hunters. But yeah. So, okay. Let's see. What else is going on in the broader world of Twitch? We got so many fantastic raids today. Thank you to everyone who raided. Jevin, Karail, and more. We actually got like a lot of raids. Too many to remember everybody. Sorry. But yeah, I appreciate y'all stopping in and giving this show a try. Let's see what is going on in the broader world of pinball here on Twitch. Let's see, what is this guy playing? No, we're not going to do that one. We're going to do... This is way easier. If you're not very familiar with pinball, let's send you over to another fan of HermitCraft, Flipstream. Yep, my base on HermitCraft is a pinball machine this season. If you're just coming in, Ignite Shadow, this is it. Yep. And yeah, if you want to learn more about pinball after hearing what I was talking about during my stream, Flipstream, who is a HermitCraft viewer, is actually streaming right now playing a real-life Godzilla pinball table. He's filming this like in his living room or game room or whatever. But this is an actual physical table he's streaming. He's going to be talking about why he's making the decisions he's making. Wow, he's almost at 2 billion points. How many cities is he in? Okay, he's getting really good at Godzilla, I say as he drained on ball 3. Well, you know what? When you get over there, cheer him up. We'll cheer him up with the raid. Say, howdy y'all, Joe Hill's raid here. And then say, we want to see some Godzilla. Get him. Let's see if we can get another game started. R. Knudsen says, I just sent a tip over. Thank you, R. Knudsen, for the 5. That did just come in. That gets us now 11 away from the next Face Gamer expansion milestone. We are going to raid Flipstream. I'm going to be hanging out there listening in. So until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.